Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Timelapse podcast for an episode which is going to be a bit longer this time because we've got Doctor Who to talk about. We've also got
Sonic! We got Sonic! We're talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog film, and Alex can't say shit about it because he actually enjoyed it slightly. Hey, back to you, Al. Don't cry about it, mate. It sounds so much like you were crying.
No, I was just laughing. I feel sorry for your family then because you just absolutely bellowed
Mate,
the words.
my walls are thick. No.
Just like yourself. But
alright, keep it press private, mate.
What is this episode already? I know I've been eating the brownies, but I don't think anything got stuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say stop eating brownies, so it's gonna pick up on the mic like hell.
I haven't ate brownies since we hit the record button, mate. I don't know what you're on about.
Good.
You would know if I ate a brownie.
Would I?
Well, yeah, I'd probably share it with you, actually. You know. Not a fan of brownies?
Not the ones you're talking about, mate.
What, just chocolate brownies from our local retailer?
Other retailers are available.
Yes, non-local ones, like Costco, I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't know, mate. Why don't you look it up?
I will, you keep them entertained, I'll Google it.
Don't look, no, mate, don't look up if Costco's a thing. It's an American brand, I believe, Costco.
Let's find out, shall we? Find out together.
It's such a dumb thing to have to look up, mate. This is a podcast about Doctor Who and Sonic the Hedgehog. We don't need to know if Costco is a thing.
Yeah, we do. This is not just about Doctor Who and Sonic the Hedgehog. It's about us talking about Costco.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about Costco.
Yes, you do want to.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, you do want to talk about Costco.
No.
Yes.
It's dumb.
Aren't we all? We went to see Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and you enjoyed it.
Yeah, which I think shows how dumb we are.
Why isn't this drawing? Why
no, but George, apart from watching Sonic, how are you feeling? What you've been up to this week? Give us a lowdown.
I'm slowly getting over my illness from the last couple of weeks. I'm actually back at work. I'm actually back studying and everything. It feels good. I'm alive again. That's pretty much it. I've just been recuperating. I tell you what, though, I did just go to a charity shop and buy the entire Game of Thrones book collection for £5, and it was like the best deal ever. Literally 50p per book. Crazy.
Actually, the series is called A Song of Ice and Fire, you moron.
I'm aware of that, mate. I have the books literally sat next to me at the moment. It's as a broader thing, I'm calling it the Game of Thrones series because more people will understand that.
Because people don't read books.
Nope. Sadly, we are living in an age.
It's a dying thing.
It's a dying thing, yeah.
Just like did you see what Boris Johnson wanted? He wants to get rid of BBC and Channel 4.
You're joking? What?
He wants to get rid of the BBC and Channel 4.
Why?
I'll Google it. I'll get a statement so I don't get anything wrong. People come after me. But yeah, this came out
all of
today,
those
man.
Die-hard Boris fans that are out there who don't know any better.
Last time I got the figures wrong and people shouted at me. BBC. Boris Johnson at odds with Dominic Cummings over BBC licence fee. The BBC must be saved from... Boris Johnson's plot to destroy the BBC.
What? Why does Boris got against the BBC? It's because his dad was on ITV, innit? So they're the enemy.
Boris Johnson is facing a mountain of backlash from Tory MPs after reports BBC licence fee model could be scrapped. So you could be getting rid of the BBC.
Don't worry, we have BritBox now.
Yeah, we have BritBox. Imagine if it became Doctor Who, we would become BritBox exclusive, then we have to pay.
I know, I would.
I would as well. Stop giving me adverts for Sonic. I went. So yeah, Boris versus the BBC and Channel 4. Do you think we're going to lose those channels? Yes or no?
No, they're institutions of the country. We can't just get rid of them like that. The BBC has literally been around for as long as TV has, and like the channel 4 is Channel 4. You know, it was the fourth channel to ever come out. That's why it's called Channel 4.
Also,
Like-
it's the only TV show to have a predominantly disabled cast. So well done.
What's that?
The Last Leg, you muppet.
Oh, of course. I mean, right, when you say a predominantly disabled cast, do you make it sound like it's a cast of people, of actors in a show, not like hosts? Why not just say presenters? I'd probably have gotten Last Leg.
They'd still be cast. They'd still be known.
They're not the cast.
Yeah, but they're known as the
Because
cast.
When you cast someone, you cast them to play a specific
They
role.
got cast to be presenters. They're to audition for it.
Alright, what's wrong with you? Oh, I'm from Devon. Oh, right, you're in.
Well, no, let's go through them. So Adam Hills and Alex Brooker, they're obvious, but Josh
Oh,
Whittaker.
mate, I don't... Just talk about Doctor Who!
No, man,
This podcast is already going to be so long.
Exactly, and we're talking about disabled people. It's brilliant.
No.
Do you know what's even worse? We've got other things to talk about before we get to Doctor Who or Sonic. Got some news.
What
We got
news?
some-
I haven't
we
heard
got-
news.
Yes, we got a trailer this week
Of what?
for Stranger Things 4.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. I'm pissed off at this. I'm so
yeah.
annoyed. You haven't seen Stranger Things, have you? So do you want me to cover this bit?
I mean, I know what happened at the end of Series 3.
Yeah, I know,
why
but you
you're
don't
not-
like the show. I like the show. I'm currently
Yeah.
wearing a Stranger Things t-shirt.
I just want to say, I tried Series 1, it wasn't for me. And,
So-
there.
This is where spoilers for Stranger Things Series 3 come in. If you haven't seen it yet, then
You're a
you're a muppet, and it's been out for ages, so you should have seen it. Basically, at the end of the last series, one of the main characters goes missing and is presumed dead. There is a hint at the end of that he might still be alive. But it's left very open and very out of sorts, and most people, to my knowledge, assumed that it was a red herring and that we weren't going to be seeing that character back. Skip to now.
Hang on. You didn't think you were going to get this character back? You thought he was actually
No,
out.
because
actually dead.
because it cheapens the death. It's like when they brought Clara. It's like when Peter Capaldi decides to go back to Gallifrey and bring Clara back from the dead after Heaven Sent. Or no, not Heaven Sent, Face the Raven. It cheapens the death that was so brilliant. Which is why... No, let me speak. Stop. Because I need to get my frustration out. It cheapens the death so much that it was a really great on-screen death. It was heartfelt. And it just annoys me that it was undone in a trailer, of all things. Like, I'd have been fine if, like, halfway through the next series they'd have been like... But in the Russian concentration camps, Hopper's still alive. And it would have been like, oh, okay, we've had time to grieve his death. Now that he's back, we can all rejoice and be like, there's a character we all love, he's back. They did it in a trailer, which was literally a Soviet camp, it was snowing, they zoom in on a character, he brings down his hood, and it's Bold Hopper. So what's the point of creating the suspense if you're going to release that in a trailer? Really, really annoys me. Really annoyed me. Especially because the bloody thumbnail of the video was Hopper. So you can't avoid the spoiler anyway. Really annoyed me. Sorry, really annoyed me.
I think obviously this isn't on. Maybe it is the idea of the creatives behind Stranger Things, but for me, I think who's to blame for this is the Netflix trailer house. Because obviously, if you don't know how films are made and how trailers are made,
yeah,
the people who create the trailers don't have any communication with the people that make the films. The people who make the films have no say of what's in the trailers. That's all down to the company. So if you're going to go watch a Fox movie, not anymore sadly, the creators of the movie wouldn't be able to tell Fox what to have in the trailer. Hence why in previous films there are major spoilers, such as the death of Jennifer Lawrence in the latest X-Men movie, which I think was, if you know she's dying, what's the point of going?
Yeah.
But that sort of thing. That's the creatives don't have say over that. That's all the business of the people in suits, and they decide what goes on. And I think, I mean, I'm not a Stranger Things fan, but I like David Harbour. I'm happy he's sticking around, and I think he's really cool as Hopper.
He's in the new he's in Morbius, isn't he?
Black Widow.
Am I making that? Black Widow, that's it. He's in Black Widow.
Also in a Russian camp. So is Hopper in Black Widow? Who knows?
Could you imagine?
I don't think Marvel and Netflix have the best relationship right now, though, considering Marvel essentially took Netflix, some of Netflix's best shows. Ooh.
True.
But no, I don't care for Stranger Things. I think it's a pointless television show myself. I don't care for any of the characters. I think the cast is great.
It's because you haven't given it the chance. You really haven't.
If you watch Series 1 you don't like it, that's my rule. I always sit through the entirety of Series 1.
Did you do that with One Punch Man?
No, but then again, I knew from the bat One Punch Man wasn't my thing. So... because I don't like anime. I don't like the style of anime. I think anime is a boring way of watching things. I think it's really pretentious. I could talk about anime all day. I think it's one of the worst mediums out there. It's just not for me.
I wouldn't. Otherwise, we're going to lose the few viewers that we have.
Anime is pointless, and it's some of the worst pieces of media out there today.
I like anime. I'm an animator, thus I have a lot of space and time for anime and the idea of storytelling, and on a slightly lower budget than, say, Disney or anything like that.
One thing I do have time for is Bagpuss.
No.
No, because there is a Bagpuss movie in the works.
Oh, you're joking.
No.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. But will you be going to see it?
Probably not.
Yes, you will. I'm taking you to see it.
I don't honestly know anything about Bagpuss. I don't really care.
He's a cat.
I'm aware what he is. He's a little like purple cat, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really care. Like, everybody knows who Sonic is. That's why I dragged you to it, because you knew the references and stuff like that.
My mum genuinely thought Sonic was Luigi, which is funny. She was like, "Is that Mario's brother?" My mum thought Sonic was Luigi. I was like, "Yeah,
that's amazing."
I'm sure. But what do you think briefly on TV programs that are orientated at kids becoming like films? Because it happens all the time, and they always flop. We had that Woody Woodpecker movie.
Yeah.
I know this isn't strictly the same, but we had things like Fred, the movie.
That's not a cartoon character. That's a YouTube property.
Okay, no, but okay. So
kids
thing for TV that have been turned into movies just doesn't really work, does it?
Sometimes no, but that's because their main audience is children. So we're not going to understand that, and there's only a finite amount of children on the planet.
Oh no!
Whereas something like Endgame, which is primarily for everybody, and everybody can get something out of it, whether it be seeing Spider-Man on the big screen or something like that, you know.
I beg to differ. If I was a parent, I would not be taking my kid to Woody Woodpecker. Like, I would have to.
That's literally what I just said. There's a finite amount of children, and not many people are seeing it because their families aren't taking their kids to see these things that are aimed at children.
It's not because I'm not interested in. I mean, I'm not interested in Woody Woodpecker, but that's not the reason that I wouldn't take my kid to see it. It's because we had that lecture and we had that clip of Woody Woodpecker blowing that woman up. That's the creatives behind the film.
Yeah, but you didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, but you could at least go into a film knowing. I would always like to know the creators and know them first, and then hear the response before going into the film. But hey, that's just me. My kids are going to be brought up on good films like Goonies. Have you seen Goonies?
Yeah, of course, I've seen Goonies, mate.
There's a lot of good films. A lot of good films you haven't seen, though, so you can say that.
There's a lot of good films you haven't seen. There's a lot of good films that you're adamant that you don't like.
Name them.
Ferris Bueller.
I love what? That's my favourite 80s movie.
I think you're lying.
No, it's genuinely my favourite 80s movie. I love the concept of that.
Until about a year ago, you hadn't seen Lord of the Rings, and you still haven't seen Lord of the Rings. You've seen The Hobbit, and you don't like The Hobbit, so you're not going to watch Lord of the Rings, which is complete idiocy.
Hang on. You got that the wrong way around. I watched the 3 Hobbit films and liked them, and I watched the first hour of Lord of the Rings and turned it off.
I don't understand you.
Because I don't really like who's his face, Frog Face. It isn't Tobey Maguire, the other one.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah. Just don't rate him. And then before we get on to the Who news, we've got one more bit of news this week. A little bit of we got a little test footage video for Rob Bat as Batman, Robert Pattinson.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that wasn't a funny joke.
No, that's his name now. It's something like Rob Battenbat. No, it is.
Oh my god!
It's what it's been named on Twitter. Rob
Pattinson.
No, I think it's Bat and Bat or something. I don't know.
That's dumb. That's so dumb.
And so's your mum. No,
Mr. Thickety Thick Face from Thicktown, Thickania. And so's your dad.
But what do you think of the... Have you seen the photos of Pattinson as Batman?
I've seen pictures. I don't really care for it, I'll be honest.
I think it looks sick. I mean, Batman is a great character.
It's not set in the DCU, is it? Or the DCEU or whatever.
If it does well, probably. They'll probably just retcon it. But no, I don't think Batman's been done well. I thought Christian Bale was decent, but I thought all the Dark Knight films were boring. Again, there you go. If there's another one of my unpopular opinions. I'm sorry that wasn't your first.
He has a lot of them.
So do you, to be fair, though.
I like what?
Like you don't like Tarantino or like massive Scorsese.
I've never said that I don't like those films. I just haven't seen them.
Yeah, but you're not going up to watch them because then
because I don't necessarily have an interest in them. I've done 19 years without them. So
you could say about anything, though, couldn't you? Anything on the horizon. I did 19 years without them, so I don't need to watch them.
Well, yeah, I know, but like the point still stands, mate.
Is that you don't know what a good film is?
Neither do you. We're media students. I mean, that's the thing to take away, is that we're media students.
You didn't like Toy Story 4, which is abhorrent.
No, I never said I didn't like it. I just said it wasn't as good as the original 3 and it shouldn't have been made.
Yeah,
It
added so much to the story.
No, it didn't. It didn't at all.
Yes, it did. It did.
No,
completely.
it didn't. I'm restarting this sketch, by the way. I don't like what I've drawn.
I don't like it either, and I haven't even seen it yet. So go screw yourself. But no, I like the look of Rob Battenbat, whatever his name is, as Batman. There's a bit weird of the cowl. It's got a bit of a bit of material at the back, which I don't like. But the logo looks sick. I really hope we get a good Batman. We haven't had a good Batman since Batman and Robin, and yes, that's a good film. Sue me. I freaking love that movie. Have you seen that one?
That's because you like Batnips.
Who doesn't love Batnips? No, obviously it's not a good movie, but it's a film that I take massive enjoyment out of watching. And I don't know, but I think this could be really good. We've got a good director on our hands, Matt Reeves, who did the Planet of the Apes movies, the new ones. Have you seen those?
Yes.
What do you think?
I like him. I'm a fan of the original Planet of the Apes as well, but I like the fact that they didn't just remake those films. They decided to go with the prequel and understand why it happened. I like that a lot.
Also, Andy Serkis is an absolute genius, man. You gotta love Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis deserves everything he gets. Honestly, he's one of the visionaries of filmmaking nowadays, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he won a BAFTA for his contribution to film, so good on you, Andy Serkis. But now finally we got some Who news. We got our regular Who news, and we got a bit more because I think it's interesting. So figures, mate. We got our. We'll talk at the official ratings for Can You Hear Me, as we call it last week.
Can you hear me?
The lowest of the series so far, and the first to slip below 5 million. So
yeah.
However, it still kept up its 20% audience share. So I don't know if it's so bad, but it did lose to Dancing on Ice for some reason. Don't get why people watch that, but it got 4.9 million viewers overall.
Okay.
It's the first story to dip below 5 million since The Eaters of Light in 2017. There you go.
Okay.
That was bad though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a dreadful one, yeah.
It's bad. But Dancing on Ice got 5.26 million. For some reason. Top of the Week was Call the Midwife on 8.21.
I don't understand why people watch Call the Midwife. It's not really my thing.
It's great, man. Great television. Love Call the Midwife. Always watch it after Who. And then this week, viewing figures went up slightly.
Okay.
So last week's overnights was 3.81. This week's was 3.86.
Okay.
It got 19.7 of the overall viewing percentage. It was the seventh most popular show on British television yesterday. It was beaten by its opposition ITV, which had 4.63 million. Top of the day again was called Midwife. And then Country File. For some reason, people switch over after Country File. Why is Country File getting 4.91 million viewers? Who sits down and goes, "Gotta watch Country File"?
I don't know, mate.
But no, Doctor Who was the 44th most watched programme of the week before the 7-day figures, and then with the 7-day figures for Can You See Me, it went up to the 35th most watched. So it normally goes up. It normally is one of those ones that people watch after the fact.
Yeah.
But no, I think this week with the Lone Cyberman, we could see it go over 5 million again. I would be shocked if it didn't.
Yeah.
The issue with Doctor Who this season is that last season they marketed it a hell of a lot. I didn't see any marketing. The only reason I knew it was
it sort of just came back. The only reason I knew it was coming back was because I'm a fan.
Yeah. And then we got some really, really cool merchandise news, mate.
Yeah, go on.
So there's going to be an 8th Doctor, Big Finish audio. However, it's guest starring Tom Baker as the curator.
Oh!
And
okay.
I think this is really cool. It's going to be a 4-story box set. It's now available to pre-order on bigfinish.com. You can either get it priced at $24.99, in physical, or you can get it at digital for $19.99. However, if you get the physical copy, obviously you get the digital anyway. But yeah, I might pick this up.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's the stories are called Lost Property, Animals, Must See, and Divine Intervention. So gotta love it. And they're all done by different people, which is cool. Matt Fitton, he's one of the ones that I know the most. He's done a few audios, and the cover looks really cool. It's nice to see Tom Baker in an audio as the curator. I think. Yes.
Romana.
Why is that your go-to companion?
Because it's the easiest thing to say in his voice. No, she wasn't. She was great.
I prefer Sarah Jane. I prefer Leela.
Romana's my favourite Fourth Doctor companion.
Which one?
Romana. The first actress to play her.
Well, the one that isn't in City of Death.
Oh shit! No. I don't fucking know. I'm tired.
There was 2 Romanas. There was Romana 1, which was in the Key to Time series, and then there was the second Romana, which was in stories like City of Death, Shada, Destiny of the Daleks.
That one. Second Romana. I like second Romana.
Romana 2. Romana 2. But anyway, mate, what order do you want to structure this in? Do you want to talk about Sonic or do you want to talk about Doctor Who?
No, let's talk about Doctor Who first.
Oh, for God's sake, why are we putting Sonic as the main event?
We're not putting Sonic as the main event, we're putting Doctor Who as the main event, and then we're talking about Sonic afterwards.
I think this is rubbish. Okay, so Doctor Who.
I said I.
No, what? I think that the fact that we're talking about Sonic on this podcast is a joke.
No, mate, Sonic. This thumbnail is celebrating Sonic the Hedgehog. All I'm saying.
Oh no. Anyway, so this episode was written by Maxine Alderaan and was directed by Emma Sullivan again. And it stars our regular fam alongside great historical characters like Lord Byron and all the Mary Shelley gang. And the plot of this
cool. The gang, the Mary Shelley gang.
I can't remember their names, I'll be honest.
Oh my god, they're historical figures, not a clubhouse. Dude.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Come inside and you're alive.
Yes, that's how biology works, mate. Hang on.
Oh wow, wow, funny.
Is it bad that my brain went straight to that? Is it really bad?
Yeah, probably.
That's probably really bad, isn't it? Good old Mickey getting those references. But no, what would you say the basic synopsis of the story is, man?
Oh right, it's my synopsis time. My lovely
synopsis time.
TV Bob Synopsis Corner. So the synopsis of this episode: we start in a dark and rainy night. Thunder is a-clapping outside, and lightning striking the nearby river. We see a group of people. They decide to read some ghost stories. They're getting a bit of the heebie-jeebies from some of these ghost stories, and then they hear a knock at the door. And they hear another knock at the door. And then another one is like one of the main blokes, Lord Byron's like, hey, look, if there's something weird at my doorstep, I'm gonna go greet it. He then goes and greets it, and it's the Doctor and the gang. And then the title sequence starts. Basically, the Doctor and the gang are there to witness the origin of Frankenstein and the writing of it. Only they realise something strange is afoot. The Doctor starts getting some weird feelings from the house. And Graham decides to go and find the toilet, but instead finds some ghost people, which he's sort of like freaking out. Turns out this house is moving about Scooby-Doo style. Rooms are appearing where other rooms should be, and like rooms are like overlapping, looping, that sort of thing. Anyway, eventually the Doctor finds this... basically a skull and a hand and everything, and they're like moving around by themselves. So the Doctor's starting to go a bit like, oh, what's going on? Then there's a Cyberman! Then the Cyberman comes through, and the Doctor's like, oh, it's a lone Cyberman. Yeah, so they fight the Cyberman, and the Doctor gives it what it wants. That's the synopsis.
Dun, 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 dun. Next week.
Yeah.
So what did you think? By the way, can you actually pronounce this title?
I actually can. I looked at this. It's like the Haunting of... hang on, look. Can you send me a thing like you did last week?
Yeah, no.
And I will say it for you.
Come on. Can George pronounce it? There you go. I'm going to copy and paste it into our chat.
The Haunting of Villa Diodati.
Thank you. So, George? Well,
The Haunting of Villa Diodati.
What did you think of The Haunting of Villa Diodati?
I quite like this episode. Basically, like, I'm liking the Doctor more and more as the series goes on. I think Jodie Whittaker's really coming to her own in this series. The story was well placed and everything. The sudden inclusion of the Cyberman was not rushed, in my opinion, at all. I think it was very good, the way that they did everything and stuff. One of the only thing, again, Yaz in this episode, obviously it's part of a character progression, but it's just the kind of attitude that I don't like in a character. It's the I can do more than I'm supposed to, so I will.
Yeah, but that's every companion ever, isn't it?
No, not necessarily, because
Rose,
some companions...
Martha,
if you let me finish,
Donna,
some companions
Amy.
actually do... Yeah, like I say, if you let me finish, some companions do it correctly, in the fact, like, the Doctor's done this thing, I'm not gonna go too out of my way to do something that the Doctor really doesn't want me to do, or completely disobey them. But I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Hang on.
Yaz is going to get herself killed. I can see either she gets herself killed or somebody else killed within the next 2 episodes, because her willingness to go into a cyber war zone is way too willing.
So I don't know what... it just reminds me of when you were saying that everyone's a bit stupid. You've just like spoke about Amy all over, who is without a doubt probably one of the best Doctor Who companions ever. And you talked about Rose and Martha. They all disobey the Doctor. That's the character trait of every good companion.
I disagree with that. There's a way of doing it right, and there's a way of just looking cocky.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. So in the scene in Vincent and the Doctor, where the Doctor's like, "Don't follow me at any cost. I'm going to go in the church, blah blah, and whatever." And then Vincent goes, "Are you going to follow him?" And she goes, "Of course."
Yeah.
Do you not?
There's
like
a way.
Do you not
there's
like
a
that?
way of. There's a way of doing it, mate. It's just that. With Amy and Rory, it felt like or with Amy and any other companion, it feels like this progression is slow and slowly brewing. Whereas suddenly, within an episode, Yaz has turned into somebody who just disobeys the Doctor at every turn. Even to the point where Ryan's like, "No, the Doctor said we should stay here," and Yaz goes, "Actually, she just said that we shouldn't follow her. So if you go in the opposite direction," even though that's not the fucking point. Like,
well, she's got nothing to lose now. She gave away the 50p, so that's all her money gone. Because she's not working anymore. So, But anyway, no, I really enjoyed this one. I've actually seen this episode 3 times now.
Oh.
I really enjoyed this one. But for me, there is no flaw. I was going to talk about any flaw, but I can't think of any. So do you have any flaws? We'll get the flaws out of the way first, because I actually don't have any.
You know what? I don't have any flaws with this episode. Obviously, slowly the entire Yaz character progression will seem more paced out to me. It's just the fact they seem to be rushing it along, which is what I'm annoyed at. And I liked Graham in this episode was acting comedy relief, I believe. And it was very much like when what's his face, the doctor bloke, was like, will Mr. O'Brien be your second? And he's like, no. And Ryan turns around and goes, all right, thanks, mate. Really made me laugh, that sort of thing. I quite enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I mean,
I think to say that it has no flaws is pushing it a little bit too much.
But the
But
music was phenomenal. Probably one of the best scored episodes of Doctor Who. Segan's doing much better than Murray for me. I know you're much more of a Murray fanboy, but Segan, he interests you more. I think he does better themes. I like the fact they're not all bombastic. Because I don't think the bombastic.
Mr. Bombastic, yeah.
I don't think the bombastic music works for Who, especially
Really?
Jodie's Doctor. You know, I think it worked for Tennant's Doctor because Tennant was, oh yes, and he was running all around and whatever.
Oh yes, yeah.
But I think Jodie's got a bit more of a relaxed approach, and I think it works better. But anyway, what is your flaws? Let's go. I've just talked negatives first.
So I found that I find this with a lot of the episodes, that the pacing seems a little off, and at one point it will feel like it's gone from 0 to 100 very quickly.
I'll disagree. I'll disagree.
No. So it felt like there was very little talk about Shelley having seen this thing, and then suddenly it was like, oh look, there it is there. Oh, now it's in the house, and it's a Cyberman. Now there's a Cyberman in the house, and it just felt like that was very rushed. And it took way too long for them to settle that in. I know the slow reveal of the Cyberman was quite nice and everything, and suddenly having it be like, it's a Cyberman, that's awesome, was really cool. I just think that it could have been paced out slightly better. They could have had more to do, mentioning that, Shelley was having these, or even when they go into the room and see the random numerals and stuff like that, Mary Shelley could have been like, oh my god, this is Shelley's handwriting, what's happening here? So yeah, that's another one thing. Another thing is just how some of the lines are delivered. I've come from a quite a amateur acting background, but sometimes I just feel like one line will seem out of place or something like that. But
you're not a fan
that's pretty
of
much
Chibs.
it.
You're not a fan of Chibs script editing.
No, I'm not necessarily just a fan of. I'm not a fan. An actor has a chance to make a line their own, and if it's not said correctly, it can feel slightly false, and that's the only problem that I'm having with it.
Alright, so I'm going to disagree with you about the pacing, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
I like the fact there was hardly any mention of Shelley's weird vision, because to them it was just it was nothing. They just thought it was being a bit weird. Why would they keep mentioning it? There was no reason to. It would have been, at that point, it would have been overblown for me, I think.
Okay.
The fact we only got a few mentions of it is good, because when it does happen, we go, actually, that reminds us of that bit. Rather than that, I didn't think that. I didn't want Mary to go, oh look, that's this person's writing, because that's a nothing line. That's like the Yaz line in Bloody Praxis, where she was like, oh, hesitation must be valuable. It's like we don't need lines like that. It annoys me. The acting, there was never a line that I can remember that took me out of it and gone, you could have done that better. I mean, obviously it's Doctor Who, so you're not going to get Oscar worthy performances, but I thought everyone did a solid job across the board for me.
Okay.
I don't think anyone. Was there anyone in particular that you thought?
So it was one of the Doctor's lines, and it's halfway through a dramatic speech and everything, and it just feels like one or two lines wasn't said. It sounded like they were reading it from a script rather than feeling it. I can't remember the line exactly, but it was one of the sorts of things where she's like, oh, but it's cyber war zones, it's either this or nothing else. But she was like, it's either this or nothing else, very quickly, rather than thinking about what she was saying, because it was quite a dramatic thing she was saying.
I mean, in her defence, she didn't really have the Doctor didn't have time to think. At that point.
All right, fair.
I'm gonna defend you. I think I disagree on this one. But hey, I think in terms of that story, I think it flows really, really well. I thought all the characters were fantastic. I thought the Cybermen's the best looking Cyberman in the new series.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. They look awesome, don't they? Or he does.
Yeah, and I wonder whether the person under the mask will end up being something. By the way, can we just talk about how blimmin' grim this episode was? So first of all,
he snapped a woman's neck.
Yeah,
like that straight up happens.
Pre-watershed as well.
Yeah, man.
And then second of all, there was that scene where that lady, I forget names, whatever, she goes over and she's like, "Did you not have children once?" And he went, "Yes," and then I slit their throats as soon as they joined the resistance. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Straight up.
Like bad.
It's mental, isn't it?
Badass. Don't get me wrong. And we need stuff like this in Doctor Who.
Yes, we do.
But
this was the best Cyberman story we've had.
Probably in the new series
so far.
Probably in the new series, I'd say. Because although I do like the where's the Cyberman Age of Steel, I have a few nitpicks with that. Like the fact that the reviewers is that it's the Cyberman, yet in the title of the story they put Rise of Cyberman, so you know they're going to be in it. Plus, I feel like Roger Lloyd Pack, rest in peace, didn't exactly do the best job. I thought he was a bit camp as Lumic. I thought a little bit. There was a few lines that made me chuckle. He was like, "Destination London," and he's like doing this weird voice. It's like over the top. And I just found it funny. But everything else, those are nitpicks though. But I feel like this, genuinely, in terms of Cyberman presentation, was fantastic. I love the way it moved. I love the fact that it didn't exactly... it was unclear whether it had its inhibitor completely working, or whether it's
or if it was like faulty sometimes and not... Yeah, I like that too.
I thought all the companions were good in this episode. They didn't have much to do, bless them, but they all had their moment.
Graham, half this episode, Graham was looking for somewhere to shit.
Yeah, so. Graham was looking for the shitter the entire time. But no, Ryan had that great scene where he got challenged to a duel, like you said earlier.
Yeah. Graham was hilarious in this episode, by the way. I'd like to point that out. I really enjoyed his performance. It was very much like the best part was the "God bloody hell, you're like ninja, you aren't you?"
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to put this out on a limb. Is this one of the scariest episodes of Doctor Who since probably Listen?
No.
Because I'm not.
Listen's not scary.
No. I don't mean for me, but I mean for the kiddies.
No, right. Listen is not scary even for the kiddies, mate.
Yeah, but Blink isn't scary, and people say it is.
Yeah, but Blink was a bit scary.
No, it wasn't.
It was, mate.
No,
it was. It was, mate.
The scariest episode of Doctor Who in the modern era is Unicorn the Wasp.
I bet if I... No. Did you about to say Unicorn and the Wasp?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you idiot. How? How is Unicorn and the Wasp in any way scary?
Giant bee.
It's a wasp, but sure. My god, mate. How, man? How?
But no,
I bet if I put Blink in front of you, you'd be jumping out your skin every 10 seconds.
No, because I know all the jump scares now, so I wouldn't.
Mate.
It's not as scary. It's not as scary as Finding Nemo. I'm just saying that now.
What?
You know,
what?
I'm so afraid to find it. I'm so afraid of Finding Nemo to this day.
Why?
I've told you this story.
No.
When I was younger, the diver scared the shite out of me, and ever since I can't watch it. I have to go behind I have to go behind the sofa every time. I can't do it.
That's so good.
I can watch it, but Finding Nemo, no. But no, I'm gonna say this is the scariest episode probably in a while.
Yeah.
For sure, there was a few genuinely good jumps, and the Cyberman was threatening.
I was gonna say the Cyberman was it was the scariest Cyberman story I think there's probably ever been.
I don't know, man. Nightmare on Silver was pretty crap. That was quite scary. I mean, you could say that Dark Water, Death in Heaven was quite scary in its themes, but not in what you saw on screen.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah, it was about being like reborn, wasn't it, as a Cyberman? That's quite a scary concept.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't say that was scary.
I said in its themes, not visually. And I don't know, like, what would you say is the scariest episode of Who then? Because everyone I'm doing, you're refuting.
The scariest episode of Who that I can remember. So the first ever episode that had me behind the sofa, literally behind the sofa, was Girl in the Fireplace, just because of the clockwork dummies and like the creepy smiles and everything.
They don't look scary.
To a 7-year-old, mate.
That's what I'm saying in this episode, and you're going, nah, no.
No, because I don't think it would be scary. Well, no, I think this episode would be scary for a 7-year-old, yeah. But I don't think that bloody Nightmare in Silver or Listen would be.
Mate, Nightmare in Silver was terrifying. Have you seen the child acting in that? Oh.
Hey, look, nothing's wrong with Warwick David's acting in that.
You even got his name wrong.
What?
You called him Warwick David.
I called him Warwick Davis.
You said David.
No, I didn't. I said Davis.
At least
mate.
on my end.
It's the mic.
Warwick David.
Mate, why would I get Warwick's name wrong? Warwick is like my superhero.
Because you don't watch Tenable.
I do watch Tenable.
Oh, good old Warwick Davis. But no, again, I think it was really scary for the kids. Especially those like the kid and the mother who bought the salad.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty creepy, and then how that ends as well with them saying,
like,
yeah, go surreal, deal with it, Graham. And he's like, Doc, there must be some explanation for this. And she's like, nah.
No, they might be. They might be real. You might have just been like.
I love stuff like that in Who.
Stuff.
I love stuff like that in Who, when they just kind of pretend like.
But then, who are they? Who are those people? You know.
Stephen Moffat.
Stephen Moffat and Chris Chibnall. Oh, not Chris Chibnall. Davies.
Yeah, T. Davies. Yeah.
Yeah, Russell.
Yeah. What you?
Oh, haha! Fuck off.
Sweatlords, what is it now? But again, I think overall I loved the presentation of the historical elements as well. So like, as soon as they get in, they start doing a dance.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny, and Graham has to give it up because he's to go for a piss. But no, they're having fun. I think it's really cool. I really like all the historical characters, especially Byron. I think Byron on the Doctor was really funny because he didn't overdo it. But I love the lines like, "Can I just say you're very fetching in a crisis?" No, you cannot.
No, you can't. Yeah.
It's just like brilliant. And they're calling her like, is it Lady Doctor or something, or Miss Doctor?
Mrs. Doctor, yeah.
And she's like, Doctor is fine.
No, just Doctor, that'd be good.
The butler is my favourite character of all time. I think he was insane.
Yeah?
I'm sad. Mate, when he comes over and smashes Thing from the Addams Family with the blooming, like, whatever it was, I thought that was really good. I think it was really funny. When that guy's like, I challenge Ryan to a duel and you'll back me up, won't you? And he's like, yes. Oh.
He sort of just goes, oh.
Yeah.
Don't he?
Yeah. I think it's really funny. There's a weird baby MacGuffin where Simon's like, one day you'll be like us, and I don't know whether it's hinting at something or whether he was just saying it to the child. Because why would he? I don't know. What did you think any of that? Anything from that?
Not really, mate.
Because I don't know why he would lift a child and go.
I'd like to know who the bloody ghost people are. You know, I think there's a theory behind that. I think that's one that you need to do on your channel.
But I've I've already got my next Doctor theory, but I'll talk about that at the end of the ep. It was a good episode. There was a lot going on as well, and I think this is the best characterization of the Doctor for me in any episode of this series since Jodie's been in the show.
Yeah?
Absolutely. This is definitely our best performance. There wasn't a line for me. I know you had an issue with that one line, but there was no issue with any of her lines for me. I think she was great. I thought Ryan was great this week. I thought Yaz was good. I thought Graham was good. I thought every single member of the supporting cast was at least memorable. There's not a character that I forgot, which is good. Which is always good. I love the setting. The actual house itself looks so scary. I love the motif of the lightning. Like, the lightning as well worked really well for this episode, didn't it? Like, the flashes, and then you get the things in the background, and they disappear. It's really good. I like the fact that it was a perception filter. I love bringing stuff like that back. That was a nice little
so
motif.
I like that.
I liked that we got a flashback. That was really cool. And I thought how they did the flashback was really nice as well. I like how we're getting the Doctor doing that more, because there's some, obviously, every episode there's going to be an inconsistency where you could have gone Doctor, but you have this machine that does this, and why didn't you use that? But I like the fact that she's using her intuition and going, right, we need information, let's do it that way. We didn't get a Doctor's speech where she was like, you need to do this, or this is our plan. She was like, I'm
clueless.
She was riffing off the companions, which is always better than the Doctor just going on a mad one. Because she was like, what do we know? And they all pitched in, which was nice. It reminds me of the scene in, is it World War 3? He's like, where Eccleston's like, narrows it down. And they keep feeding...
Oh, right, yeah. It's not World War 3. It's not Boomtown either. Is it World War 3? It's World War 3. It's probably World War 3.
I was about to say, it's the second part, isn't it? It's not the first.
Yeah.
So...
Rosakuriko Falapatorius.
I thought that was really... I just thought it was all really, really solid. And to my favourite elements of the episode were actually the interactions between people. I think that was my favourite part. What was your favourite part of the episode? Obviously the Cyberman in itself, and we'll get to more of the ramifications for the finale. But just wrapping up that first half, I was never bored.
No, I agree. I think my favourite part of the episode was most likely just some of like Graham's remarks and stuff like that going through it. The entire like you say, like I said, the jousts or the duel scene, where it's like, will Mr. O'Brien be your second? And he's like, no, and Ryan's like, thanks, mate. It really made me laugh.
Also, you called him O'Brien.
O'Brien, sorry, not Dara O'Brien. Yeah, I'm tired. I hate doing stuff.
We had a late night Sonic.
Yeah, man.
5 o'clock showing. He was meant to be in bed.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
But right now, let's get into the more Cyberman heavy stuff. So we learned that Shelley has been he's the one shifting the house around. We don't know how yet. We figure out in his room there's all these coordinates, what we assume to be coordinates and what they assume to be coordinates at the end of the episode.
Yeah, but it's not said in the episode that it's his room, is it?
Yes,
not at that point. Not at that point. They don't say it's this room. He says, I thought this room was empty and there was nothing in it.
You can just use your logic though to know that it's Shelley.
No, because your logic doesn't immediately say, "Oh, this must be Shelley's room."
I got that
at the beginning of the episode.
I got that immediately.
Well, that's because you're fucking.
No, because he's missing. So who else is going to be writing the weird writing? Of course, it's going to be Shelley.
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
You're nitpicking this to beyond belief.
And yeah, but I'm only doing your job. It's your job to nitpick things to beyond belief, but for some reason with this you seem immensely complacent.
I know I'm allowed to argue your points as if you would argue my points if I had an opinion, and I feel like this is just way too nitpicky. I feel like the story, if it didn't make sense with the story and you had no idea what was going on and it was confusing, then sure, but I was never confused. I could follow it.
Yeah, but that's the entire point. Is that you'd be able to follow it?
Yeah,
they weren't. So I'm not saying that it was a bad thing that it was that they went that they didn't say that it was Shelley's room. But I'm just saying you wouldn't naturally come to the conclusion that was Shelley's room, especially when one of the lines said is, "Oh, I didn't know there was anything in this room. I thought it was empty."
I don't know. I mean, I got it myself, so maybe that's just my viewing. But then They somehow find Shelley. I kind of get confused, but I don't really remember that myself. Even though I've seen it 3 times, so there you go.
They literally just stumble across him. They go into the cellar and he's down there.
Which I sort of like, in a sense.
Yeah.
Whether it's it's not really like a memorable thing, but in a way I like it, you know? And then, as I said, we find out it's him moving the house around and he's trying to keep the Cyberman away, but we find out that when he was, just going for a walk, next to a river.
As you do.
He found this weird silver thing in the lake, and he decided to not listen to his parents and pick it up. And
it was very reminiscent to Lord of the Rings. I liked it.
And then it kind of fused with him, and now he's got all the history and the knowledge of the Cyber Empire. And that's what the lone Cyberman's after, and he's been looking for the Protector the entire time.
The Guardian.
Sorry, my bad. The Guardian. He really wants to read the newspaper. But
I was about to make the same joke. I was like, the best of the newspapers.
And obviously the Doctor, being an egotist, thinks it's her, but it's not. It's not her. She's not the Guardian. And then there's this massive dilemma, and this brings a really good speech within the episode.
There's this twin dilemma.
Oh, it's not even that. I like the twin dilemma.
You what?
Just ridiculous. I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it's okay. But there's this dilemma where they could either kill Shelley, and that would stop the lone Cyberman from ever getting their hands on the Cyberium. However, if they do that, history changes, and there is this scene where Ryan's like, we should just kill Shelley anyway, because it's one life versus 1,000,000, and then the Doctor goes, but how dare you say that this life is not valuable? And how, and this is, would you say this is Whittaker's best speech? Because,
one of them, yeah. She really came into her own as the Doctor here, I believe.
I think this is absolutely amazing. She was like, this isn't a team. I'm at the top of the mountaintop. I've got to make the hard decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't win. And it was insane. And she kind of has a go at Ryan. She's like, how dare you decide that, this life. And from then, you sort of get this look from the companions that they don't feel safe anymore. I like the companions' expressions change.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cool. And, man, do you think we're going further and further into Dark Jodie?
What?
I know I phrased it wrong. Do you think that down the line, Jodie's going to get darker as a result?
Maybe. I feel like if she loses her companions to this, then it's going to have the sort of pond effect where she doesn't want to do anything, that sort of thing.
Ponds.
Yes. I think it could have that effect.
And
I think we could be seeing a Valiard sometime soon as well, the return of the Valiard. I think that might be what Ruth is leading on to, because she seemed like a slightly darker version of the Doctor. Yeah, that's about it.
Dr. Ruth. And
Dr. Ruth.
So then the Doctor goes, I know what to do, and she takes the Cyberium, so now she becomes the Protector. And then she's like, okay, now I've got it, we'll be fine. However, the lone Cyberman's thought about this, and he goes, well, I've got my entire ship there waiting to blow up the planet. So if you don't give me that, then
you're all dead.
You're all dead. And the Doctor's like, well, no, I have to, because the world doesn't end here. It clearly goes on. So I now have to give it up. So she gives it to the lone Cyberman. That's really cool. And really good. And we get that scene just before this where, again, one character goes up to the Cyberman and she's like, have you never loved? Have you never had a child? And we get that lovely line where he's like, I had children and they joined the resistance, so I slit their throat. And I was like, whew, sure. Because it looked like he was buying it for a second. I love it when he did that. Because I was like, ooh, is there an emotion behind it? But no, it was just a fake out. Which, in my head, I was like, if he did fall for it, or if there was some kind of...
Yeah, if there was some sort of like, oh, it's a good Cyberman, I'd have been like, oh, that's a trope that they use with the Daleks and Rusty and all of that rubbish. Yeah. We don't need to see that again. I'm glad that he was like... And also the fact that his inhibitor chip was broken or not installed properly makes you think, wow, this bloke just is a real asshole. Like, he was originally an asshole and now he's a Cyberman and he's a cyber asshole. Like,
yes. And there's another brilliant thing which we didn't mention, was that, Lord Byron has got the skeletons. He's got a few skeletons that come to life. You got Thing from the Addams Family. That was nice.
The hand,
nice reference. You got other bits and pieces. Like, there was that bit with the baby, and then obviously I think it's Shelley goes over to look at the child, and it's just the bones.
And it's a skeleton. It's
like, whoa! It's really good stuff. But no, this is probably one of the darker episodes of Doctor Who, because I don't think we've ever had anyone's neck get snapped before.
No, like he straight up reaches into this box where this nurse is like carrying the baby and just reaches down and you hear the scream and then the scream just goes like, ah! As you hear, like, oh!
But now,
whoa! How powerful is that? Like, that is crazy how they even had the balls to do that.
But now the thunder and lightning ends, and the Doctor knows she's got to go on a mission to stop the Cybermen. By the way, I liked how they used a real life event with that year that the episode was set, where there was no summer because in real life it was because of volcanic ash or something like that. And they used it and they sci-fied it up, and I love it when Doctor Who does that because this is the brilliant place.
It's like in funnily enough, it's like Unicorn and the Wasp, where they take Agatha Christie's disappearance and lack of memory and turn it into the reason the Vesper form. With like what happened, the reason of that being is because the Vesper form died attached to her. But you've only seen that episode once, so
no,
you wouldn't know that.
I've seen it twice.
Have you?
I saw it once and I was like, however old when it originally came out, and then I saw it again one more time, and I never want to watch it again.
We're gonna watch it again.
Drunk Doctor Who.
Drunk Doctor Who.
We'll get on to,
but we won't say anything more about that.
We'll get on to that later because I've got an announcement to make on channel and stuff, and stuff to talk about. But
don't say anything until we know what definitely the format of the show is gonna be and stuff.
Oh no, the Drunk Doctor has nothing to do with the podcast at all.
Good.
But so that in terms of episode, is sort of it. We get that lovely scene in the TARDIS where the Doctor's like, "You don't have to come with me." And I love how they're hyping up how dangerous the Cybermen are because we haven't had this in a while. We have that lovely line to Bill where she's like, "I'm not losing anyone again." I was like, "Ooh." Because sometimes you feel like the Doctor just forgets about previous companions.
I agree.
And the Doctor sort of moves on, and therefore doesn't. But you get that lovely shot of the Doctor looking back and sort of reflecting, because that was her last companion before we are where we are now.
Yeah.
We forget that was so long ago that you think new companions would be afoot, but no, these guys just stuck around for 2 series. And it was a lovely scene, and then the episode ends with a lovely speech from Lord Byron and the poem. And it's about the Doctor, which is nice.
Yes.
And
she is the universe.
We roll credits, and then we get a lovely trailer. And I want to speak at the next time trailer, mate, because Cybermen are back.
But they're not the Cybers industry. They're not the cyber industries because they have the circular chest plates.
No, they got the C logo.
They don't have the C on the chest plate.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
On the chest plate. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I've just seen a picture of it, mate. Like, literally, I've just seen a picture. I'm pretty sure they don't have the C's on the chest plate.
I'm gonna prove you wrong.
They have the circular chest plates that you saw in Series 6.
No, there is a C on the one that I'm seeing.
There's only a circular one. Send me a picture. Get me hyped.
Oh, I've been looking at the wrong photo the entire time. God damn it, it's photoshopped.
Ha 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 ha! You fool! Yeah, the one that I'm actually looking at is the thumbnail of the Next Time trailer on the Doctor Who YouTube channel, and it's literally this universe's version of the Cybers industry, Cybermen.
Oh god, my phone's gone off. Oh,
Pardon you.
2 seconds, I'll just mute that. It's a group chat.
Unprofessional!
Shut up, Lemon Grab. I hate Adventure Time. But that's what the end of the episode. So let's get into this. Is the note you want to say before we get into characters and we give scores on the doors. And I think in terms of this is episode 4, so me to go first. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Because I really enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with it, however, because it's a build-up. It didn't complete. And for me, for the story to be a 10 out of 10, the story itself has to conclude. But no, this is just a launch pad for the rest of the series. So I mean, that's why it gets. That's a really nitpick though, but I couldn't give it a 10.
Okay.
I can't fault it. So I couldn't give it anything less than 9.5.
I'm giving this one an 8.5. Just because I feel like fighting was good. The villains were brilliant. I love it when they bring back a classic villain, and obviously we've had quite a bit of that this series, which is quite nice. We've had more of it than say last series.
I mean, to be fair, the first 2 episodes were the Master, then we had Jadoon, and now we've had this. So really, it's been 5 of the 8.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's been a lot of it, which is great. because there's still people complaining that we didn't get Sea Devils in Praxis. I'm like, I don't want every episode to be classic villains. I like some new stuff.
Yeah, people with Praxis were saying like, oh, well, isn't it the Autons or the Sea Devils? It's like, it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, it's like the story was still alright, you know?
Also, how would the Autons have fit into a virus episode?
Yeah, true.
It would have felt tacked on. Because the Autons, right, the nesting consciousness wouldn't come up with a plan to make the planet ill with a virus and then win. Because that's rubbish. Because that's so much like effort you have to put in. Unless you want to make the fact that the Autons are getting smarter, which they shouldn't do, because the Autons are always a better secondary villain, which is why in Rose they're like an introduction villain. But in Spearhead from Space and stuff, and the other one where they introduce the Master, they've always, you know, especially in that one with the Master, they Terror of the Autons, they're secondary. They're like foot soldiers.
Yeah.
In Pandorica Opens, they're foot soldiers because they don't work well enough as a main villain. And that's just my opinion. Series 12 though, cracking stuff so far.
Yeah.
So is this your favourite episode of series? According to your scores, I think you may have rated Prisoner of the Jadoon a bit higher.
That's probably just because of the sheer shock factor. Again, I don't really think of things as in, like, oh, this was my favourite episode of this series or anything like that. If I'm forced to think of something on those sort of lines, then I'd probably say that this might be my second favourite episode. But I prefer to think of things as a full series, and at the moment, obviously, the full series isn't out.
I do with shows that follow canonically week to week. So, like, if I was watching something like, I don't know, I can't think of a TV show that follows, but because Doctor Who's, like, split up all the time, so, like, we miss out 3 weeks of adventures between every ep.
Yeah.
We miss out. I feel like they're not all one story.
Okay. Well, I still think the way I do.
Well, you're wrong. You melon. No, I'm joking.
He called me a melon podcast. Fire him. You're cancelled.
You're a honeydew melon.
Thank you.
That's actually quite a nice melon out. So there you go. You're a nice melon, but still a melon. Okay, then what time is it, George?
Sonic time. Supersonic.
So George, what did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, what did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I thought it was okay, and you can't lie and think I thought of it any other anything.
It was movie best movie 2020.
It was okay.
It was amazing.
I said it was okay, and I did say it was entertaining, but it's just okay. Am I ever going to rewatch it? No, because it's not that great. It's just okay.
So Alex is a cretin and doesn't appreciate. See, he doesn't appreciate good cinematic masterpieces.
Fuck off! This is Sonic the Hedgehog flossing for like 10 seconds straight, and he does it again. Cinematic masterpiece, and it endorses tying your sister up and leaving her in San Francisco while you're back in Alabama or wherever they're from. And they go, should we get her? Nah.
No, I think that it was a brilliant film. I genuinely did enjoy it. I think it's opened up a space for more video game films.
Well, George, it's your lucky day because we get 2 George synopsis time.
No, I'm not doing a synopsis of a film that's in the cinema because that's just going to spoil it.
No, the synopsis doesn't spoil the movie. There will be spoilers in this podcast, by the way. Because there's no point talking about the Sonic movie without spoilers. I mean, who cares about spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog? If you do...
If there's a movie that's still in cinema, I'm not going to do a synopsis. They can go and check that out themselves.
I'm going to spoil this movie myself because I hate non-spoiler reviews. It's rubbish. They are so broad and boring. So, I have a few issues with this film, which I feel like you might not. You might have just accepted them for what they are, whereas I do have a few issues, and they're not what you might think as such. So, I do have a few issues on a broad level of some of the things. I don't really... like. I loved the lesson about friendship. I thought that was really cool. However, I didn't like some of the ways we get there. So like I didn't like the scene with Sonic in the bar. I thought that was awful. where he's just running around and doing some weird TP stuff. I thought it was rubbish.
Okay.
I thought some of the comedy didn't land, but then again, it's not aimed at me. I'm not even talking about the flossing. I thought the flossing was fine. I didn't like the bit where they had the kid in the bag and they were like, "Yeah, is that your kid?" No, it's not our kid. So what? You can't be making jokes like that. Also, why? No,
they
because,
did. It was funny.
Because in reality, you would try and get the kid out of the bag.
Would you?
Yes, I would. If a 7-year-old is trapped in a bag and then I'd try and get the kid out the freaking bag.
No, I disagree. I don't think you would.
No, I definitely would.
I don't think you would.
Or I would get someone to get the kid out the bag.
I don't think
Why
you
would
would.
you? Yes, I definitely would. I'd be
you?
like, I would shout, "There's a kid in that bag," and then they get mobbed. Also, they drop a plot point which annoys the hell out of me.
What's that, go on?
So Tom, James Marsden, is on the news as a fugitive, and he goes into this building in San Francisco, shows up his ID, and they let him up.
Yeah, that annoyed me as well. I agree with that. I 100%
if you're on
agree with that.
the fugitive, how is he allowed to? People see his face. He's not. There is a brilliant bit at the start of the middle bit, but at the bar fight where they are hiding, especially wearing sunglasses and stuff. And then like the people at the motel would know his face as well. So and it's implied that they sleep there.
Yeah.
You know, and then. I mean, it does, and then, but surely if you recognise that you chat that guy in, you call the police and they'd arrive at the motel, which they don't. They go to the bar where that all kicked up. They never go to the motel, and it's that annoyed me because I was like, I didn't appreciate the what's her name? I can't think of her name. The bird character.
The bird character. Oh, the owl thing.
Owl. Longclaw.
Longclaw.
I thought that was a really weird way of introducing it. Sort of as well. Have you seen Paddington?
I thought
it was very similar to the beginning of Paddington.
I've heard a lot of things that were like, this film was snippets of other kids' films that were just like taken for this film. Like there's a scene which apparently, I think it is literally the bar scene, which was literally like almost scene for scene taken from the third Alvin and the Chipmunks film or something like that.
I'll be honest, I've
not seen it.
I've seen number 1, and I may have seen number 2.
I'm the same.
I can't remember those films for the life of me. And I appreciated some of the jokes. There was some horrible product placement in this film. It was so poor. There was the bit at the
Olive
start
Garden.
Olive Garden, but there's also that bit at the start where James Marsden's character comes in. I forget his name because characters aren't that important to this film because it's Sonic. Wachowski. Tom comes in and he speaks to his girlfriend Maddie, and he's like, "Maddie, what you doing?" She's like, "I just bought this new place on this website," and I'm like, "What?" And then you look at the price of the place, and it's like $4,700 a month. And you're just like, what? Who's paying that much? They must be in good hands, because that's a lot of money a month. And there was a lot of references to, like, you could tell they were trying to access the kid audience by referencing things from like the MCU, the DC universe. They had a lot of film references, like they called raccoons trash pandas.
That's not a film reference. That's literally just what raccoons are called. They are called trash pandas.
Yeah,
you can't just say that that's a reference because it was in a film.
But there was so much more dialogue as well to like MCU and DC culture, and it's annoying to me. You're pandering to the kid audience, which I guess is fine, but it's not a top tier kid film like a Lego movie where if I was an adult I'd get something out of it.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily pandering to that audience. The Flash stuff is because Sonic literally has pretty much the same powers as the Flash. That's why he's reading those comic books.
I didn't say that bit was pandering.
Yeah, but you were like, there's DC stuff that goes on.
No, but there are a few DC references which annoy me. The whole Donut Lord thing's fine. I'm just nitpicking at this point like you were with the Haunting of Villa Diodati.
I was not nitpicking. I was saying fact.
Now let's get into the annoyingly good parts of this film. Actually, no, one more bad thing. They introduced Tails at the end. Oh, which means I will not see the sequel because Tails is in it, and absolutely not. I hate Tails. You like Tails, don't you?
I do like Tails. I like Tails as a secondary character. He's
but
got a fun power basis. Nobody
his
really knows
purpose?
how he works. It's just there as... what's the purpose of a companion in Doctor Who?
To like riff off Sonic. But
Exactly.
Isn't that kind of Tom's job in this universe?
No,
What's Tom gonna do in the next movie? If Tails is there, there's no need for Tom.
And yeah, if Tom's there, there's no need for Tails.
Exactly, that's my point.
Okay, then so why is there most of the time more than one companion on the TARDIS?
Yeah, but look how much problems that's created
Okay,
throughout the show. It doesn't work.
I disagree with that.
Ooh, okay, so right, I'm gonna let you speak first because I think we're gonna have a much more positive opinion.
You
than me.
haven't, because you didn't really let me say what I thought about the film, even though you just sort of went on and did it. So,
Oh, I haven't given my good points yet, but I feel like
no, but you thought you just sort of ignored what I have to say about the film.
all you said is that you disagreed with my points. You thought it was fun.
I disagree with some of the stuff that you said.
Go.
Okay, I think this. I agree with what you said about the sort of friend orientated thing. Having Tails in the film isn't a bad thing. It actually throws having the first film with just Sonic and then introducing Tails into the second thing. It's following what the games did with Sonic and Sonic 2, where they introduced Tails as a second character, as a second playable character, as a sidekick to Sonic. They then are most likely leading up to Knuckles being one of the only echidna left to look after the Chaos Emeralds, which Robotnik will be after to power his robots, because that's basically it. And I think that the reason that the echidna were after Sonic when he was running fast at the beginning of the film is because he generates the same amount of power as the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, I like the fact that they're bringing in Tails for this. I don't think they're gonna. I'm glad they didn't shoehorn him in this film as a main character in this film. I think him coming in the last film and being like, he must be here is great. Jim Carrey in this film I really enjoyed as well.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I like
fantastic.
Jim Carrey in this film. Because before this film, you did not like Jim Carrey at all, did you?
I still don't. I still think he's ridiculous. I still don't enjoy most of his stuff. I think he's really good in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think that's a really good movie of Jim Carrey's. But apart from that, I think The Grinch is awful. I think Truman Show's just whatever. And The Mask is fine. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber is crap. Yeah, the list goes on. I do have an issue though with what you said with Tails, right?
Yeah, go on.
Right, so it's not only my personal opinion of the character, but I like when you said that they brought Tails in Sonic 2 in the game, and that works as a game mechanic. But we've seen time and time again with video games to movie adaptations that they bring in these game mechanics and it's overstuffed. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but bringing Tails in isn't a game mechanic. It's just adding a new character to the franchise.
But it was in Sonic 2 because Tails could do things that Sonic couldn't, like the flying thing, and that would create different puzzles. But what is Tails going to add to this movie? What can he do that Sonic can't do? Yes, he can fly, but Sonic can move at the speed of light. And they're not going to come across platforming puzzles. There may be a platforming sequence, sure, and that's the only bit that Tails will get. Max. The rest of it will just be an overstuffed cast.
I disagree with that. I think they'll find a way to fit Tails into this film. Having an overstuffed cast isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that there's going to be less screen time for other characters, which in a Sonic the Hedgehog film probably isn't the worst thing ever. So I think Sonic as a whole is a huge universe that's had 30 years worth of developing and everything, and they've only just decided to bring out a film, and it's fair dues, you know. I forgot what I was going to say. I'll be honest.
I'll say this: it's much better than the Super Mario Bros. movie.
Yeah.
But I don't. I know it's about people that have nostalgia for Sonic and that, but I have a request as well. Can the next one not be set on Earth? Can we go to more realms where Sonic's from? That's what I'd like to see, because we get a bit of the Green Hill Zone, if you like, at the beginning of the movie, and that looks really cool. But then we go to this place on Earth called Green Hills, okay, fine, whatever. We go to the thing from the video game, and then we go to Green Hills, and although one thing that was really good, Green Hills felt lived in. It had a lot of different characters. You had a lot of different people there. It was really fun. However, I don't feel like another one on Earth would be as interesting.
Okay.
I'm not saying it can't start in Earth, but I feel like Tails needs to grab Sonic for something in another dimension, maybe. And then he brings Tom along as well, and we get some really cool looking worlds, because genuinely the most beautiful shot of the movie is that first shot of Sonic running and doing the flip and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of potential there to do something really nice. This film, it's solid, but it did nothing for me. I thought Ben Schwartz was really good as Sonic.
Yes, I thought he was very good.
I really like him. I think he was great. I thought James Marsden is really, really good as well as Tom. They have great chemistry together. James Marsden did an incredible performance considering he was looking at nothing the entire time.
Yeah.
But no, you get their relationship. There is that obviously a part of any kind of movie for kids where they have to fall out for no reason. I thought in this one it was stupid. So essentially Tom wants to leave Green Hills because he wants to become a serious cop. Sonic's like, why are you leaving Green Hills? You're not you're not loyal to your friends. And I was like, that's not a good lesson. That's not a good lesson for kids either. Like, loyalty to your friends, yes, but he was doing it for his family. He was doing it for a bigger reason than friendship. And I don't know. It would send the wrong message to my kids. It's not a message that I would appreciate them learning. But that's that's the way I look at kids' films. You may just look at it as a kids' film, whatever. But I look at it as the broader themes and what they do. That's how I look at films now.
You have to look at this how a kid would look at it.
Absolutely. But also I want to look at it as how a parent would go in and think, I don't want my kid thinking that. Like, you know?
I suppose.
I don't know. I just felt like Sonic, although Sonic did say he was unreasoned at the end, that it makes the entire time you don't think when you're watching it, you're not on Sonic's side. You're thinking Tom's got a reasonable explanation here. You know, there is no conflict because Tom's right. At the end, he makes the choice to stay, but that was his choice. There was not. He chose to stay because he did.
What I'm saying when I say you have to look at it like a kid, you have to think, what if it was a kid's friend who was leaving town to do something, and then another kid was like, no, what do you mean you're leaving? You this terrible thing, and then Sonic has that resolution. Yeah,
but the only issue is that they backtrack on the lesson, because if you're going to look at it that way, Sonic accepts it, and Tom stays anyway.
I suppose, yeah.
So I don't know. I think the message got a bit mixed up. Apart from that, though, that's really all my nitpicks. Jim Carrey's great. I love him and Agent Stone's chemistry.
Yeah. Agent Stone's a cool character.
Poor Agent Stone.
Yeah.
He just gets bullied.
At the end of it, he's literally a rock.
I thought you liked this latte with steamed goat milk. Of course I would. I love the way you make them. But my only issue is, again, we're talking about trailers here. I feel like all the best jokes were in the trailers. There was no joke that made me laugh that wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I've only seen one trailer, so I don't know what that says about this film. But no, I don't have the nostalgia that a lot of people do. I thought that Maddie and Rachel were good characters. So Rachel's the sister to Maddie, and Maddie's married to Tom. I thought Rachel was really funny, especially when Tom comes up at her doorstep. And she's carrying Sonic, and she's like, I'm going to call the FBI, CIA. Yeah. And they tie her up, and they steal their car. But that was funny. I like the origin of the red boots. That's nice.
Yeah.
Somehow they handled it much better than they did in the Han Solo movie. The origin stuff. I genuinely agree. I believe that. I'm not even joking. I think the origin of the red boots here made sense.
Yeah.
I like the bit with the turtle at the start, or tortoise, if you know. So that was fun.
It's a tortoise.
And I like the fact that Sonic was lonely. But my favourite aspect of the movie was the bucket list motif.
Yeah, I like that too.
I thought that worked really well because Sonic, obviously, as you said, I didn't know this. I thought he was always meant to be like a 30-year-old hedgehog. That's just my lack of knowledge for Sonic. But actually, he's like a kid in this movie. And he just, we see that he's just trying to make friends, but he can't reveal his power. So he spies on people.
He sort of makes his own friends up, doesn't he?
Yes, he kind of makes his own personalities up, and then he's checking off his bucket list. He's doing a lot of things, and then as he falls asleep in the hotel, Tom looks, and the last thing on the list is
make a true friend.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, gut punch. And then we get this nice little road trip segment that was really cool, where they're defeating Robotnik's bots. I thought it was fun. We have a great scene where Robotnik's is jazzing out to music and running away from dinosaurs.
Yeah,
it's funny. But again, it's a fine movie. If I had to give a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6. I'm not going to rewatch it, ever. But I feel like you would. I feel like you really enjoyed this one.
I would, yeah.
I feel like you came out of this going, this was actually a great film.
No, I didn't come out of it saying it was a great film. I like it because I'm a Sonic fan and I could appreciate references and stuff like that. I've always been a Sonic fan. I've grown up in a Sonic household. My dad used to play it when I was a kid. My brothers used to play it when I was a kid. My sister used to play it when I was a kid. I used to play it when I was a kid. I still play it now. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. I love anything to do with him. He's my main in Smash. I'm going to go on and see a Sonic the Hedgehog film and I'm going to bloody enjoy it, you know? Like, I've watched the cartoons, I've played the games, I've read the comics. I am ready for this.
Jak and Daxter's still better.
Piss off.
No, man, it's great quality, Jak and Daxter.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. They're all great, especially Daxter for PSP.
Yeah, boy. Literally my favourite PSP game when I was a kid, by the way.
That's not really a high bar, though, is it?
That and Sonic Rivals. Sonic Rivals was
for me, FIFA 09 was a quality game.
It's not much of a high bar, though, is it?
No, but no game on PSP was great. It was the PS Bloody P. The best feature about it was that you could watch Scooby-Doo on it. But, yeah, would you watch a sequel to this?
Yes.
I don't know how it couldn't be. What would you... Okay, you're a Sonic fan. Pitch to me your idea for the second film. Because I cannot see it not being the same, where Robotnik just comes back, Sonic has to defeat him again, the end.
My pitch for the second film, right. So, Sonic is now living with Tom and his girlfriend and the dog. He's loving life. But then, suddenly out of the blue, Tails appears. And it's like, hey Sonic, I found you at long last. And he's like, oh shit, you're Tails. I remember you from when I was a kid. I had to leave suddenly and do all of this shit. And then he's like, Sonic, Angel Island's under attack. And then he's like, oh shit, we gotta go home. Turns out that the Echidna are sort of like, have all died out because somebody has come and stolen their thing that they protect. It's the Master Emerald. It turns out that it's none other than Dr. Ivo Robotnik, now reformed to Eggman. So, the film goes on like that. They are back in Sonic's realm until Dr. Eggman returns back to Earth, which he then starts to take over and robotizing people similar to what he does in the cartoons. He turns Earth into Mobius, an entire world that's just filled with robotic... basically, it's Mondas. That's what Robotnik does. He creates Mondas, basically. Yeah, so that would be my basic synopsis for the next film.
Okay, well, as long as they introduce Shadow, who's the best Sonic character.
Sonic's definitely... Shadow's probably not the best, but sure.
At least they don't introduce that big cat.
Oh, what, Big the Cat?
Yeah, big...
Fergie!
I can see them introducing the whole gang. Like, we get Amy in the next one, we get Tails, we get Knuckles, we get Mario.
Oh, fuck off.
I want them to make a good Mario film off the back of this, because Mario is infinitely better than Sonic.
I could have such a big debate with you right now.
Let's do it. Character wars. Mario's just better.
No, mate, he's not.
Yes, the villains are better. The villains are better.
How?
Okay, so Bowser instantly more.
Can you name any other villains except Bowser and his Koopalings from Mario?
Bowser, Donkey Kong.
No, I said without Bowser and his Koopalings, Donkey Kong, not a villain.
He was originally.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, in the law.
He was.
No, in the law, Alex. In the law, Mario has literally caged up Donkey Kong as a pet, and Donkey Kong breaks free and steals his girlfriend. You are playing as the villain, as Mario. That is what happens. Yes, there is a law to Mario. If you take the time to research, you will find out.
There's a
Donkey
lot
Kong
of
is not a villain.
Alright, then, Luigi, just because...
Luigi's not a villain either.
Shit.
Exactly. Name any other villain except Bowser in Sonic. In Mario. Exactly. You're now just humming Five Nation.
Five Nation. I didn't know there was a lore in Sonic. No, Mario.
There is a lore in Mario. Of course, there's the lore in Mario.
It's like saying there's laws to other video games.
There is laws to other video games.
Like Zelda, there's no law to that. It's all
There's
bollocks.
a massive
I'm
law
joking.
to Zelda.
I'm joking.
I hate you right now. I genuinely despise.
I've never
the
played.
breath
I've
that you
never
breathe.
played a Zelda game. I don't intend to because it looks bollocks.
Your bollocks.
I'll tell you what. The new one on Switch looks beautiful, but I don't care for it.
I really want to punch you right now.
What?
Right in the face. No, just because you don't give things a chance.
I was brought up on quality games, like film remakes and FIFA. That's me. I'd love them to make a FIFA game. That'd be banging. Imagine FIFA the movie. FIFA the movie. Get bums in seats.
I'm ignoring that you're doing this, and I'm going to focus on what I'm doing right now, which is drawing the...
It would just be a 90-minute movie of football, which is what everyone wants in their life. No, but I just don't feel like there's anything rich about Sonic. He runs fast, and that's all you get in this movie. You get the little ball thing, sure, and for you, yeah, you can say they can do this, they can do that from this, but on a base level, I don't care. As a general audience member, there's nothing endearing about the character of Sonic in this movie. Ben Schwartz does a good job. Sonic's likable, but at the same time, Robotnik steals the show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
Robotnik's great in this.
But there's no jumping off point without going, oh yeah, now we've got to do this thing back in my realm. Because then we just set back. Then what do we do? Does Sonic go back? Like, it just, there's not much tension really for me. I don't know. It didn't work for me. Character of Sonic's not as interesting as say a Mario. I'd much rather see a plumbing movie.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
What are the ones? Obviously, I say Jack and Daxter quite a bit. A Far Cry movie would be good.
An Uncharted movie would be fantastic. I want to see an Uncharted.
Tom Holland is set to star, but have you not heard about this?
No, I have not.
Well, Tom Holland's been like signed on to be Nathan Drake for 2 years, but it's gone to like 7 different directors.
Oh, shit.
So we may get an Uncharted movie with Tom Holland.
That sounds dreadful.
No, he's probably the best fit for Nathan Drake.
No,
because like who else would you put?
Have you seen the fan film online?
What, with Nathan Fillion? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, but that was years ago. Now Nathan Fillion's too old. They probably
to be fair,
they'd probably want to make a franchise out of it, so they probably make Tom Holland grow into the character. I have one request for Tom Holland. Obviously, I know that.
Can we please get Tom Holland doing an English accent for once? Seeing as he's English.
It's like an Onward when he's a weird elf creature and he's still doing an American accent. I don't know, just.
Yeah, there's no real need for it.
It's not like he has a strong British accent either. It's just a posh Kingston accent. He's not from North, you know. But what other video game movies would be good? I'll tell you what. This might actually annoy you. I think a Super Monkey Ball movie would be hilarious.
Okay.
Tell me if you're saying that Sonic's better than Super Monkey Ball.
No, I am saying that. I am saying that, mate. I'm saying that Sonic's better than Mario as well.
That's a joke.
No, you're a joke.
You're lying to yourself.
I'm not. I'm really not.
We need to get a Fortnite video.
Oh, could you imagine?
You know it's coming. You know it's coming. You do know. There's no way. They'd be stupid not to, because although it'd be shit, it would make bank.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like we could come up with a Fortnite script, ship it off to Warner Bros. And be
Mate,
like,
we could get a Fortnite Netflix original.
mate, and we make all the money. The Witcher, we got a TV show which was good. Sure. GTA would be fine, but it would be essentially every other gangster movie. Is there hang on, because I've started, is there any other actual games that you'd love to see made into movies that you think would work rather than just these are my favorite video games? Put them into movies.
Genuinely, this isn't just me being a fanboy, and I know you don't like Lord of the Rings, but a Lord of the Rings style Legend of Zelda film I think would be awesome.
I think it would work, but I think it might have to be animated.
No, don't animate it. Live action.
I disagree because the characters would look a bit silly.
No, not necessarily, mate. They are literally just elves.
Yeah, but the ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not for me. If
elves.
If they animated it, maybe. What video games are there that we could make into films? Because I want a good video game movie, and I still don't think we've. This isn't as good as Detective Pikachu for me.
I haven't seen Detective Pikachu.
Oh, it's so good, man.
I don't believe anything you say anymore.
Well, because I didn't like Sonic as a character.
No, because I don't respect any of your opinions anymore. Just
because
after doing 3 episodes of a podcast with you.
Because Mario is better than Sonic, which he almost definitely is.
No.
There are 5 much better factors to why Mario is better than Sonic.
I honestly could not agree.
Better video games, right? The originals, maybe. Sonic 1, 2 and 3, fine, they're good. But the spin-off games, not been as good.
Why?
I don't like Sonic and the Secret of the Rings is what I remember.
That's not a spin-off game, mate. That's not a spin-off game.
Okay, well then the games after 1, 2 and 3 got crap. Fine. Sonic, was it what, Sonic Colors or something? That was shit. Sonic Generations was fine. What's the one that everyone hates? That was on like Xbox 360 and he kisses a girl at the end.
I'm not helping you with this.
What's the one where he kisses a girl at the end?
I'm not helping you. I'm not helping you with this, and that one is renowned as one of the worst video games of all time, but that's nothing to do with Sonic.
Mario has better side characters. And I actually know the side characters of Sonic, so I can actually...
Do you? Name them.
You got your Sonic, you got your Tails, you got your Knuckles, you got your Amy's, you got your Vectors, right? You got Shadow.
Okay, and now name Mario side characters.
Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Toad, Bowser.
Okay, right, for a start, just because it's annoying me, I asked for side characters and you give me the main characters.
Okay, so Luigi, Yoshi, Toad, Peach. Okay, she's shit. I'll give you that. You got people like Rosalina. You got the.
Okay, and now give me distinctive character traits and character development throughout the series.
There is none for those guys either. They're just.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. They literally have developed characters that you don't know about because you haven't done the research.
Do your research, Alex. Is the story of this. I'm not going to do my research on Sonic because I don't care. But no, I don't know. I don't feel like the characters are interesting enough to research.
That's because you haven't researched them yet. Like there are entire Tails is like a tech guy who can literally like
but he's the most annoying cunt in the world.
Yeah, it takes one to know one, mate. Takes one to know one.
Exactly. So I would know if he was. He genuinely is an annoying character. There's nothing endearing about Tails.
I disagree with that. I think.
Every time I come.
That's because Tails is the little brother character to Sonic. He's supposed to be like
Sonic. I do like his voice actor though. I gotta give him credit. Knuckles is cool. Sure, I like Knuckles. Just 'cause he looks cool, and when you're younger, he's cool. I like Sonic in the games. I don't like Sonic as an 8-year-old. I think it's rubbish. I like Sonic when he's a bit more. If we get a few years gap, which obviously in terms of filmmaking we will, but if we get a few years gap in between this film and Sonic grows up a bit, I'll prefer it. I don't know. The younger Sonic doesn't work for me. Do you prefer younger Sonic or more grown up Sonic?
I honestly could not care.
Really?
Yeah, I think the two are interchangeable. There are obviously certain character traits in older Sonic than younger Sonic and all of that stuff. But all in all, they are literally the same character. They are there to do the same thing. This version of Sonic is supposed to be like a child. The one in the movie, sorry, is supposed to be like a child. Obviously, in the games, he's like a 15, 16-year-old. So he's got that teenage angst. Actually, yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I think an older Sonic, seeing an older version of Sonic with like the teenage angst and the like, I'm too cool for school sort of attitude would be cooler.
We get a bit of that in the film, and that is the best part. When he's like, "Hey, Mr. Eggman," and he like starts.
Yeah. It's like when it's like the entire like Spider-Man should be like quipping lines and stuff like that. That should be pretty much the same for Sonic.
I agree. We agree on something.
Yay!
But no, guys, there you go. That was our debate on Sonic. You may disagree with me. You probably will actually if you enjoyed this film. I did enjoy the film though, so I came away with at least something. But for me, Sonic does nothing. In my opinion.
Just like you and any other female.
Shut up. At least mine's, like being. You didn't have to go that deep. Jesus.
Oh, I didn't mean to actually offend you, buddy.
Well, you did know, and you also said that Sonic's better than Mario, which is false.
Shut up. Sonic is better than Mario.
Design level, sure, but not in terms of video games. I mean, we can all agree that their best game is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, so it's fine. So there's a crossover there. That is actually my favourite Mario and Sonic game, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, just because of memories. It was on the Nintendo Wii, wasn't it? So you could just play with the family, play a bit of archery. However, Sonic was OP in how he's
in the running. Yeah.
How he's allowed to compete in a 100-meter sprint, I'll never know. But genuinely, no. But guys, I wanted to take a quick second just to talk about future projects and what me and George might be talking about. Nothing's set in stone. Nothing is set in stone yet. We don't know when we're doing this.
Also, I'd like to point out that anything either of us say about each other on this live stream, it's all just jokes. I don't want to. I don't want to see in comments like, "Oh, it's so harsh." Oh, it's only an opinion. We are joking. We're just riffing off of each other.
We take the mick out of each other.
We do. We just take a piss. It's our friendship. It's what it is.
It's what makes us stronger.
Yeah.
But I think we've got a lot of stuff in the. I wanted to talk about your channel because I know you've planned to do stuff on your channel first.
Yeah, I've started doing a lot more since we started the podcast.
So yeah, I've done good.
Yeah, I basically I have sort of turned my old media film production channel into an art channel where I upload time lapses of me drawing and basically honing my craft. It's not about me displaying how an amazing or thinking that I'm an amazing artist when I'm very obviously not. It's just about me needing to learn how to use certain programs and certain materials and stuff like that, and just wanting to document my progress. If you want to follow me in that, then come along, and I'll try and make it entertaining for you. But yeah, apart from that, that's pretty much it.
But
on my channel.
I have to say a quick thank you to you guys because a video of mine has actually kind of suddenly picked up traction, and I was right, by the way. I want to say my first Doctor Who theory, which was on the Lone Cyberman, I got correct, and it's currently it's gone up again. I think it's at 500 something now.
Blimey.
Mad. I'm going to check now for you guys. Thank you so much, and for the few people that actually have jumped on board as well. Much respect to you guys, because I know a lot of people just watched it and obviously clicked off because it's just a theory. But some of you that have joined along, thank you so much. I know one of you did actually watch the podcast in the end and sent me a message, which was lovely. But yeah, I'm going to quickly check now. It's currently on 516 views as we're recording the podcast, and it's ever growing. I want to say thank you. My next Doctor Who theory will be up tomorrow. That's on Graham's death. So that's going to be really interesting. So that's going to be Saturday. Saturday's going to be theory day. I'm going to try and do a theory every 2 weeks on Saturday. That's going to be a plan, at least. And also now there are some future projects that me and George might be doing, which I just want to talk about what we could be doing, what we might not be doing. I suppose the biggest one is creating an entirely different channel for games.
Yeah.
Which will be, if you enjoyed our debate about video games, that's the channel for you. Because it'll probably be a bunch of us arguing and you'll be showing me a game.
Alex is very limited when it comes to video games and his knowledge about them. And I would like to talk and teach him. No, I wasn't being rude. I want to teach you about games and the lore behind them. What's up? Have I disappeared?
Why can't I hear George?
Now? Oh no!
Oh my god! I turned my sound down. I'm an absolute muppet.
You fool! I'm glad that wasn't my fault.
I clicked on my YouTube video and I was like,
being
I can't hear
rude.
George.
I thought I was absolutely being rude to you and that you'd found it offensive, and I was like, what? I was just
because my video started playing, so I turned the sound down. I hit the mute button. I forgot, obviously, that doesn't just mute the Google. That muted you. So I will redo that bit. Just because you might have been saying a bunch of crap.
I was just saying that I would like to just teach you about some of like the lore behind video games and stuff like that, because I know that's something that you don't necessarily partake in.
I didn't even know there was a lore to Sonic, so there you go.
Yeah, man, it's there.
But now, in terms of Doctor Who content, we've got a lot of things on the brain, especially, well, not just Doctor Who content, but podcast content and stuff. We're gonna, hopefully, yes, James, this is your favourite part, because I know you listen to this, we may be starting doing drunk Doctor Who reactions.
Yeah.
They won't be podcast format, because I don't think that would work.
No.
Because I think I'd have to listen back to it and go, this isn't good, whereas if I just edit it in a video format, it'll be a lot funnier as well. So we'll be doing that. I believe we've picked our first episode, if we do it, to be Unicorn the Wasp, because I'm a little pussy. And it's scared the shit
yeah,
out
you are,
of me.
boy.
And so it's going to crap out of me. And then one I want to do is Hellbent, because I know when I'm drunk, I'll absolutely hate that episode even more. But yeah, we're going to start doing that as well. And also, we may be watching the Tenacious D movie at some point, and if we might do a reaction to that. Just because, if you don't know, George introduced Tenacious D to me, and I've actually become slightly interested. So yeah, but it's just a massive thank you for the people that watched that video, and the guys that have dropped on board. It's a massive, because I think it is genuinely a decent video as well. Obviously the reason that it got the views was because of theory, but those of you who actually enjoyed the theory commented your thoughts as well. Yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, the next theory, Graham's death theory, will be up on Saturday, tomorrow. Anything else you want to say, George? Anything else you want to plug?
Not really. I'm pretty sorted. I'll be uploading pretty soon. Well, I probably have uploaded the video that I've got ready at the moment by the time that this podcast is up. I redraw the Sonic movie poster in the original sort of like Sonic comic book style, or at least attempt to the best I can.
I've seen it. I think it's good.
Thank you.
No, do you not want to plug your Insta? Isn't it untempered
my
Productions?
Instagram is untempered_productions. My YouTube channel is Untempered Productions. So go and subscribe and follow.
You can follow me on Twitter at AlexKing_Dom.
Don't follow Alex.
That's where most people get updates about my YouTube and this podcast, so please do follow me. And you'll get updates on videos and stuff. You can follow me on Instagram at AlexKingdom2001. Just follow my personal Instagram. I don't really do much media stuff on there, but there are a few pictures of Haribos and whatever on my Instagram. But apart from that, though, guys, that's us done for episode... Is it 4? It's 4.
Is it 4?
It's 4.
I thought it was 3.
No, can you? Is it? No, we've done Prisoner of the Dodoon, Praxeus. Can you hear me?
This is episode 4.
We've done 4.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why I, man. But no, yeah, episode 5 will be a part 1 of a story, so we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to Ascension of the Cybermen next week, though. I don't know about you. It's the first on Doctor Who. I've been looking forward to it. Actually, I'll give James another mention, because he reminded me that this series is sort of a carbon copy of Series 3 in 3 factors. Number 1, they brought back the Master.
Yeah.
2, Jack returns.
Yeah.
3, it's a 3-part finale.
Oh, okay, I see that.
Although in Series 3 it was all in the finale rather than over the series. I suppose the Master coming back was all over, but you didn't really see him until the finale.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to Ascension of the Cybermen next week. Until then, though, I've got that video coming on Saturday, and George will be uploading it. Is it Sundays and whatever?
I don't know yet. I'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. But until then, guys, have a good week. Stay classy, and whatever you want to do. Bye bye.